Any good project of this magnitude needs to include expectations for what will be needed in the future. Technology changes so rapidly that we can easily find ourselves outdated soon after a new application or system is installed. This is simply the nature of this field, and the way we stay ahead of the curve is by considering what comes next and posturing ourselves for that transition so that we can be well prepared. No one likes to be surprised by a sudden need for something new. Planning ahead can keep most of those surprises from happening. Forward thinking is pretty fluid and may not even be the most accurate, unless of course you can see the future. But it does give us a sense of what we can expect and what is most likely going to be needed. For example, after installing a new server, we know that at some point the hardware and software will need to be upgraded. We know that as new software is released, it will most likely require more memory and more powerful CPUs. We can plan for these changes by making sure the motherboard of the new server is capable of having these components upgraded. This gives us room to grow and expand as needed, and also keeps us from running into the problem of needing to buy a new server a few years down the road. This is forward thinking. Another approach you can take on this section is to look at past research and see what they included in their assumptions of what would be needed in the future. Most research projects include some type of future thinking sections, and they can be good examples of what to include in your own research project. Use Google Scholar or the school library to find some research articles on different technologies. Then skip to the end to find the sections of what is expected in the future. Read this section of 3 or 4 projects and you will get a good feel for how to do this in your own paper. One other approach you could take is to simply imagine what you think could be next. I often read articles on new pieces of technology, and when I do, I think about the potential applications that this new technology could be used for. There are so many possibilities that most people don't consider. Products are usually designed for a specific task, but with a few minor tweaks, these same products could be used in many different ways. Apps for a smartphone or tablet tend to take this approach. Many people will see an app and then think about how they could provide something similar with different capabilities and offer it to a completely different market. All it takes is a little bit of forward thinking, an understanding of what consumers may need, and a way to put it all together. The nice thing about this section is that you don't actually have to design something different. You just have to think about what can be done or how it can be done, and then write from that perspective. Take this approach and you will enjoy writing this section. This final section of your paper is usually the most fun to write because it allows for more creative thought and less technical accuracy. I once took a course many years ago that was focused on creating new technologies and researching cutting-edge products. Our assignments were all focused on summarizing what these new technologies could provide and what we thought would be the next future iteration of the technology. It was exciting to imagine where technology was going to take us, and even more exciting to look back and see how accurate we were in our own assumptions. You can take a little bit of this approach here as well. Of course, you need to include what you think will be the next iteration of your selected technology, but have some fun with it. Think about where it can lead us 5 or 10 years from now. I don't think Apple knew where the iPhone was going to lead us, but I am willing to bet they knew it was an innovative enough product that it would go through many versions over the next decade, be copied by others, and spawn even other pieces of hardware, like the tablets we see everywhere today. Forward thinking helps us get to the next step. Use this method this week and see what you come up with.